Hello everyone, and welcome to my prelude to the Big Lerf podcast. This episode is the Cornish Lerf Festival special. We recorded this immediately after the event, and were extremely tired, which meant we forgot to mention the basic details of what the Cornish Lerf Festival is. So before we get into the main pod, I thought it was right to go over what the event is about. It's basically a 48-hour lure fishing species hunt, hosted by Ben at the Art of Fishing tackle shop in Weybridge, Cornwall. Ben is one of the original Lerf tackle pioneers, and the Art of Fishing tackle shop holds a special place in the history of UK Lerf fishing. His shop may be a little more bass focused these days, but it still holds some real Lerf treats. It's absolutely worth a visit. There'll also be a dedicated Art of Fishing Lerf website soon, so well worth keeping an eye on. About the event though. After the bass weekend, there is a species hunt, and that is exactly what we were taking part in. The rules were simple. Catch as many species on lures and take a photo of each one with your numbered card. To keep it simple, every goby besides the leopard spot counted as one, but other than that, every species counted. So it turned out to be a typically mad and brilliant event, with the reigning champion being our very own Richard Salter, so we had high hopes of a podium finish once more. So let's cut to me, Rich and Joe, fatigued, battered and broken after the event had finished. And thanks, as always, for listening. The Big Lerf podcast, talking LRF and more. Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Big Lerf podcast, and this is the Cornish Lerf Festival special. We've just finished the 48 hours I think it is slog of a species hunt, and all of us are absolutely knackered, but we're here, we're going to record it because it's fresh, and we're currently standing in the Art of Fishing in Weybridge, which Ben has kindly lent us. It's very nice of him. So I'm here with Joe Mole.
Hello.
And Richard Salter.
Hello.
Okay, it's a Big Lerf team. And we haven't actually been the team this weekend. We've actually been apart. Sadly, I started late on the Friday, so I'm actually interested to hear how this got on, because I don't actually know a lot about your weekend, guys, other than you smashed out the species and did really well. And there was also some troubles and tribulations and the rest, I think, for me as well. So we'll have a little chat about that. But I'll just go into. So, Joe, do you want to sort of start about how your weekend went?
Yeah, it's been a good weekend. It's had its ups and downs. Some fish have been hard to get, which shouldn't have been.
Yep.
But yeah, we've
Any particular ones?
garfish.
Yeah.
Can't get a garfish.
Just like the Big Lerf, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we just so none of us got one.
No,
No.
we didn't.
None of us got one.
Didn't really get close, I don't think.
Not had a single one this year.
No, neither have I.
No.
Crazy. They were definitely caught. There's a few anglers got one. We'll go through in a minute who took part in this, but obviously we'll talk about our weekend first. But anyway, carry on, Joe.
Yeah, so started off, it was just me and Rich this time, as Ben was saying. As he was busy, had to join us a bit later on. It started off quite well, I think. What did we pick up first of all?
We ticked off our tub goners, didn't we?
That was it.
It's a pretty reliable spot. I should say I had to make a game plan because it's the first time I've ever driven.
I like that game plan as well, because you had the a map drawn out.
I did.
Proper analogue style.
Do love a map.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's quite an enjoyable experience actually. But it was a gamble because we were going in blind almost.
Well, yeah, we obviously most the times we've done it before, me and Rich have done this is our third Cornish Lerf Festival.
Yeah.
And obviously every time I've driven around. And
yeah,
so
you just sort of dragged us around the county and we've sort of reaped the rewards. So.
And Joe, this was your first as well.
My first, yeah.
Yeah. So it was obviously good to get. Obviously, at least you had company, Rich.
Yes. Yeah. You.
I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'll digress.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Joe, what's you had some gurnard?
Started off with the gurnard, my first Cornish gurnard.
Yep.
Obviously, had a few back home. Just can't get them in Cornwall.
So how many is that now?
I'm now on 126 gurnard, I think, for the year.
This year.
Not doing
And
too
one of
bad.
those is Cornish.
Two of them are Cornish.
Two
Cornish gurnards.
Lovely.
So we went on from there. Obviously, picked up sand gobies, had a blenny as well, and we were joined by andymytton and Matt and Danny. So made for quite a good little first social fish
Some
to
good
begin
anglers
with.
there as well.
Yeah, some good anglers, lots of tips and tricks being thrown around, and good conversation. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So where'd you have next? Where'd you go, Rich?
So we decided to stay north coast.
Yeah.
Had it purely from like experience on holiday. Knew there was a good chance of weavers further down the coast.
Yep.
With a mix of other stuff, classic north coast stuff. So we got our weavers, didn't we?
Yeah, lots of weavers.
Lots of weavers.
Yeah.
Some ridiculously small scad that were
Handy one to tick off.
Yes, because we didn't actually tick off a adult size one.
You guys didn't get the big
No,
scad?
We didn't.
Not from the reliable spot.
No,
Well,
it
there we go.
It was dead there.
I had a couple.
Yes, good
Nice.
on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had smelt. What else did we get? I had a mackerel there on a metal, but they were very few and far between.
Yeah. Well, mackerel, I think that was a bit of a theme for everyone. I mean, we'll skip ahead, but obviously I think Andy didn't get one.
We didn't get a whole one, did he?
Didn't get a whole one, no. Yeah, well, Andy Mitten, who took part, obviously, if anybody who doesn't know Andy Mitten, he's just a bit of a LRF legend. He's very heavily involved in Magecraft and IMA and the rest. And yeah, I was fishing with him actually in the same spot these guys were, but the next day. And yeah, he had a seal beheaded his mackerel, which was...
he lost a couple to
he
the
lost
seals,
a couple
didn't
to
he?
the seal, yeah. I caught one from the same spot, but I reeled it in as quick as possible, because I knew that was... and then the seal still had it when I chucked it back. So that seal knows the game.
Yeah.
He hangs actually underneath the pier, the
Off
harbour
end
wall,
there, yeah.
and like you can't see him, and then he just takes
Appears.
it. Yeah, ready to take it. Bless him.
When we were there, people were feeding the seal.
Yeah.
So he knows the score, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He knows
yeah.
what he's getting.
He's never had to work for a meal in his life.
No, he's in good shape. Okay, so you guys. So where was I at this point? I was still working.
Yeah.
And then where did you guys go after that spot?
Stuck north coast,
Yeah.
down to Hale.
Yeah.
Good place to tick off your wrasse,
Yeah.
rockfit, blennies. Chance of something different.
It was a dash before dark.
It
wasn't
was.
for
It
the
was a
wrasse
bit
and
of
stuff.
again. It was a bit of a gamble, but it kind of paid off.
It was quite
didn't
far
it?
down as well.
It was a
wasn't
long way down, but
Yeah.
I think it was the shortest trip to Hale over the weekend if we did it that way.
it? Yeah.
And yeah, I picked up Gold City and Corkwing,
Yeah.
Tom Potts, and my first place.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
So how'd you get that one?
Just bumping I think I was on a split shot at that point, just out on the
Okay.
open ground. Just searching around, I'd got
Yeah.
what I thought I could get. It was getting a bit dark for a ballon, although
Yeah.
Joe did pick one up.
That's one, Joe.
Yeah, just flicked it out on the cleaner ground, calling it back. Lots of little rattles, and then a slightly more aggressive rattle, and it was a little palm-sized place. So-
Yeah, brilliant. So we Joe and me had them during the big Lerf, but neither of us got them this time, did we?
No,
No.
could not.
So
get them.
yeah, well done for that.
Cheers.
Okay, so was I? I guess I must have joined the party around this sort of time. What was I doing? I just checked in. So obviously, what you had to do for this, just to explain the setup, is you had to go to Wadebridge and to go to the art fishing shop to check in and get your card. And obviously, I'd finished work at 5, got through all the rush hour traffic, so I got in for about 6:15. And yeah, so I literally then pelted it to the first mark, and just knowing that everyone had been fishing for 6 hours, I think, before me, or maybe 7 hours. Yeah, 'cause I wasn't.
Instant pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, it was instant pressure, and I kind of I was trying to manage my expectations, but I'm also super competitive, so it was really really
Just a
difficult.
little bit.
Yeah, I was just like, I got to try and do well. My aim was 20 for the weekend to see if I can get that. I mean, I knew it was going to be tight, so yeah, I was hoping for that. Anyway, so we got there. So I got to the mark where you guys had your gurnard. So I thought I'll try and get that off because super reliable. And I dropped one. One actually came up to the surface and took it as I was just about to lift from the water, so I didn't get a proper strike. And the next one was a proper beast. And yeah, just again, I didn't set the hook properly. I think I was just trying to fish a bit too quickly. I think I wasn't really. Yeah, I was rushing around. It was just poor form from me. I think I just started off badly, and that was a bit of a rubbish start, to be honest. But I still got a whiting and what else did I get there? Gosh, I'm so tired.
You must have got a Sangobi.
No, I didn't actually.
Didn't
I deliberately ignored them. I got pollock, so I got 2. So I got 2 in my first spot, and then I headed down, and I'll say where I went. So I went to Foy, afterwards, just because that's just the natural place everyone gravitates to after that.
Yeah.
And you guys were down there, weren't you?
That's where we met you for the first point of the weekend.
Yeah. Obviously, I didn't see you guys much over the weekend.
Actually, no. Strange experience.
Very
Brief
strange.
encounters.
Yeah. And obviously, it was nowhere near as fun. And obviously, I'll happily admit it. I'd much prefer doing it with the company, and obviously with you guys. Obviously, it's so much more fun when you got they have to lift you through all the.
That's it. We sort of drag each other through it, don't we? Spur each other on.
I had a long day at work, and I was just like, I was really flagging already. I was thinking, this is not a good start. And if you're with people, that energy you can feed off a little bit. And like if one of you catches, the other one can sort of like
spurs you on a bit.
And obviously you can look and you think, they're doing catching on that, so you can switch over. Metals are doing well, or Iceland's doing well. Yeah. So a bit of a shame, but anyway. So we're then, with obviously Foy did what Foy does, and I think we were sort of like side fishing for dragon nets in the shallows.
Yeah.
It was a really weird tide, wasn't it? It was like the
barely moving.
It's almost like fishing a still water. It was really odd. Obviously small tide, and I just it made it difficult catching bass, and I didn't get a bass that night.
No, we didn't get one.
Not a bass.
Did you get one at all?
No.
Nope.
Wow.
Could not get one.
Barely a sniff, actually. We saw a couple cruising around at Foy, but they weren't really. They weren't their usual selves, because normally you'd be pretty confident of getting one down there, wouldn't you? But
mad.
Strange down there this weekend.
Yeah, really strange. I do think the tides didn't help us in that respect. I think you bit of tide running for bass is what you need.
Yeah.
But it did make sight fishing for the dragon nets really easy.
Yeah, they were as easy as I can ever recall a dragon.
Yeah, and we were just using the little Tenegos for that, with a little bit of as a sort of stinger.
Unless you want to try and hold the fish over the water before you take a photo of it.
Oh yeah, you dropped one, didn't you?
Dropped it straight back in the water before I could even get a photo.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
One of many mistakes.
Well, there's a few of those, man. Don't worry about it. So we went to, obviously I went up and went for a scorpion. We went to, I got one quite quickly. You guys joined me after for that. You all got scorpion. Yeah. Scorpions were on fire this weekend. I had loads.
I had one more at Meva, but that was and I went up Foy.
Well, at Foy, they were keen.
I still think it's like 2 or 3, the same ones just milling about. And
I definitely caught the same one twice.
Yeah.
I think we probably did, but they're so hardy.
They're obliging, aren't they?
Yeah, very obliging.
They've got zero memory, have they?
Yeah, they're just like, I'll go for that.
Yeah.
That's already fooled me once, but I'm going for it again.
Pure instinct.
It was delicious then, it's delicious now. I'm having it. So obviously we carried on from there. I think you guys caught poor cod.
Yeah.
Smelt.
No, you didn't get your poor cod that night, did you?
No.
There were a few about off the end of the pier.
It was about 9 o'clock low, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
sort of coming in, starting to flood then. But
That's
the
right.
flood was slow. It was not.
Yeah, it was hard to get anything past pollock at that point as well. They were just snaffling everything.
Yeah, pollock everywhere.
I'd got a bit fed up with the pollocks, so was trying new lures to see other ways of catching them, really. And was using a really cool little 2 gram slow sinking lure, which I was whipping about. That was doing really well until a decent mackerel came up underneath it and just smashed into it, gave me a good run around for a couple minutes.
Yeah, that's cool. What brand is that?
So that was a jackal. It's a sardine type lure.
Yeah, it's got like a little fork tail.
Yeah, a little jelly sardine, I think they're called.
Yeah, and it's got like a treble underneath.
Yeah,
really cool looking
lure.
Yeah, I would never have sort of picked that up and go, that's the one I'm going to use.
Yeah.
But obviously it worked for the mackerel.
Yeah, I've been meaning to use it for ages and just thought...
If anyone's going to use a lure like that, it's Joe.
That's true.
Like
Joe, for the record, is an absolute magpie. We're currently surrounded by beautiful lures, and there's a drawer here of all the LRF goodies here at our fishing, and Joe's been in and out of it.
I've already shopped from it twice.
You had it non-stop, yeah. So obviously I'm mated that Ben has allowed us to stay in here without unsupervised, because Joe might just walk out with a whole lot, But,
I just own the shop now.
That's it. Taking it over. But anyway, going back to the lures, what was I doing then? I didn't do a lot, to be honest. I think I was sort of struggling. Well, I eventually got a scad. That's what I was sort of aiming for. But again, off the usual mark, they've been spooked by all the anglers that were there, and so I had to fish on the outside of one of the boats. And it was a Magecraft Nano Jig with a 5 gram with a with a treble on the back. That's what I meant to say.
Nice.
Maybe call it a treble then.
Interesting.
Combination. Yeah, so, and obviously that took it straight away. That was a massive relief, because I thought if I don't get one of those that night.
They were thin on the ground, so that's
They
a
were
good
thin.
result.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. And then I think I was just absolutely knackered, just flogging a dead horse trying to get other stuff, and I wasn't really getting much. And where did you guys go after that?
Home, didn't we? Go back to the caravan.
So what was home for you this weekend?
We were a bit upmarket compared to previous.
Yeah.
Compared to the shipping container of the past.
Yeah.
We had a little caravan.
Was it nice?
It was really nice actually.
It
We
was
weren't wasted
really
on us really because we were.
Whereabouts was that?
Outside St Austell.
Yeah. Good little base.
Yeah.
Whose phone is that?
Sorry, that's.
Your phone is not silent.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
There we go,
We're a
chaps.
professional podcast.
Sorted.
I think it's the first time I've asked him.
Anyway, back to the caravan. Yeah, it's a really nice caravan. I think whenever we get nice accommodation, it's a bit wasted on us really because we're never there, are we?
Well, that's the thing with these lure festivals, and also with the big Lerf in the same way as well. I guess when you're really on it, you don't want to sort of waste any time sleeping.
No.
Yeah.
And so, which is kind of counterproductive at times. But yeah, we just spend so little time sleeping just because you want to get out there and just fish as much as possible. Yeah. And it is, that's what part of it is, just seeing who can last.
Yeah.
And I was because I knew I was getting late. I didn't want to invest too heavily into the weekend because I thought I'm not going to do that well anyway. And so I was staying at my grand's in Lou, which actually turned out to be a massive plus for me because I got my best capture of the weekend was there. So I went there and I did a little bit of sight fishing for some flounder. So I was literally I couldn't get a flounder at Foy, which is normally pretty reliable. I thought Lou is pretty famous for flounder. I'll go there, and it was about 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. It was, I was knackered. I thought I've just got to try one last place, and there was about 4 or 5 2-pound plus fish, just
nice.
Cruising around, and a few of them were spooked by my head torch. Obviously not used to seeing the light where I was, but I managed to get one where it was kind of facing away from me, and they was using a snooded drop shot, which has been doing well for me actually on the flank recently, and just twitched it above his head, and he had on an Eco Gear Kamushi, the little white one.
Good lures.
Yeah, great little lure. And he just lifted his head up and snapped at it, and I had the maddest fight because I thought, for some reason I was very tired, didn't take a landing net, and so I was playing around in front. I got the Ajidu bent in half. It's pulling line. I'm trying to work. I think it's just going to pull at any second. It's going to go, and I managed to reach down with my Ajidu as high up in the air as I possibly could, and then my other hand reaching right down. If I wasn't as tall as I am, I would have landed it, I don't think. And I managed to just grab it by the gills and pull it out, and I was over the moon.
Good stuff.
Obviously, Lou was really quiet at this point. They probably would have heard me shout the entire way through the valley. Some weirdo just shouted at 3 a.m. Got a flounder.
Brilliant.
But it was it was class. It was really good. It was one of those one of those moments though where you kind of wish you weren't on your own a little bit, because obviously it'd just be nice to share that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. Obviously, a bit of a theme of the weekend. It's not the same doing it alone. I won't be doing it again in the same way. Because when you've got the banter and the sort of the lifts and stuff, it's just so much better when you've got the company.
Totally different.
So I definitely missed that. Anyway, so I got to bed about 3:30, got up about 7ish, 6:30, and met you guys in Lou actually.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't sure about whether to do that one, but
it turned out, even though it was quite difficult, the pool that we fished was quite low because of obviously small tides.
Yeah.
There was a massive shoal of a mullet in there.
They were really tightly packed, weren't they?
Yeah.
But active, thankfully.
So we were casting little, it was essentially split shot rigs with Tenago hooks just at them with a tiny pinch of Isom or Eco Gear I was using. And actually, and also you had a gold snake there.
Yeah, so I was winding up the giant gobies as you do while you're there, and as they were darting in and out, a little gold cinny was cruising amongst them. So stuck it down and he took it straight off the bat.
Mad, there's a gold cinny. That's 2 wrasse species we've had out of there. Crazy. Anyway, I digress. So we were going to I lost one and I got another one, and then that was me. I figured I better go because obviously I've got species to get
straight off.
So so that was my not very many species. I'm 5th or 6th species. Can't remember now. So I was off. You guys stayed there for a bit. Had some giant gobies.
Yeah,
which obviously don't count for this comp because they're a protected species officially.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, so they don't count for the.
Both got a mullet each, didn't we?
Yeah, I did a lap of the pool, only to find they were still pretty much in the same spot.
Oh, okay.
So Joe picked one off pretty quick, didn't you? third cast, was it? Something like
Yeah, yeah.
that?
First cast they followed it. Second
Yeah.
cast they had a little go,
Yeah.
and then third cast they just
And obviously, for
took
people
it.
who haven't seen it, they are small mullet. They're very small.
Yeah.
We're talking 6 inches, if that.
Yeah.
Probably more 4 inches. But they're the good thing about the smaller ones. They are just easier to catch.
Yeah.
They're easier to trick than going for the big ones.
yeah, they're just
for this-
feeding at that
And for a
size.
species hunt, you just got to go for the easy options on this
That's
one.
it.
So
Get them ticked off.
they're a good one to tick off. And really, the way to catch those is just to cast out and just essentially just bring it slowly through the shoal. And occasionally, some of them will peel off and chase it, won't they?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
And those little tenegos are so sharp.
we were
that
saying
when they
that,
do it.
weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're the right shape to be just breathed in.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're taken in the mouth and they've got them straight away.
That's it, yeah. So what was I doing at this point? I was driving up to the north coast because it was low tide, and I thought I'd try the rock pools, and yeah, I mean that was a bit of a fail, to be honest. I went to the spot which had done me so well before with Montague's blennies, and I could only catch loads and loads of tiny rock gobies, like the smallest rock gobies I've ever seen. All little. They must have been this year's fry. They were that small.
Yeah, minuscule.
Yeah, really difficult. I did catch some giant gobies and obviously rock gobies and also blenny, they're common blenny. So that was at least one species, but I could have not gone there, really.
Yeah.
And I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, really, it was really, because it was a long walk down and then one walk back, and I was just so annoyed with myself, and I was thinking, that's ruined it, you know?
Yeah, you need it to pay off there, don't
Yeah,
you?
that's it,
The
yeah.
journey.
Again, so doing it on your own, it's pretty bleak, so I was just like, I was feeling a bit low at that point, I think, so even though I'd done well on the mullet, I think that knocked me back down again, so I was feeling a bit rubbish.
That was a bit of a theme, wasn't it? We were all feeling we weren't doing as well as we were.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
in reality, we were.
Yeah, I think we've actually the final totals, which we'll talk about in a bit, obviously were really good, but obviously at the time when you're in them, I think as well because there's so many good anglers involved.
Yeah.
You feel like if you even slip behind even a second.
You get wind of someone catching a couple of species and you think that they feel like they're running away almost.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And in the case of Will, they probably did, but yeah, everyone else, it was
Yeah.
very, very tight, really.
Yeah.
Particularly for most of the day on the Saturday.
It
So
was,
yeah,
yeah.
it was an interesting one, really. I'm trying to think what I did after that. Oh yeah, I was down in Hale was the thing, and I got so I went down there for the wrasse. Only got a gold cinny and a tom pot. Yeah, literally went over to. That was one of those days one of those moments where things just didn't go for me the way I thought. Big family turned up, fishing. They took over like the main spot that I needed for the wrasse.
Oh,
You know, but there we go. It's what it is.
yeah.
So where did you guys go? What were you doing?
We went to Meva next, didn't we?
Yes.
It was tough fishing, actually. We did pick off a couple of species each, didn't we?
What'd you get?
What did you
we
get?
get?
Oh, I know that you got a tiny sand eel, which I still think is
Oh,
yes,
crazy,
yeah.
really.
Yeah, so
Was that on the metal?
yeah, on a little zester with a treble on it.
Yeah.
Just whipping it through, hoping that there's going to be gars or mackerel, something like that.
Yeah, or a launce maybe. Or
Yeah,
something like
yeah. I saw a couple launches, didn't we?
Yeah,
Chasing
following,
up through.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was just flicking it on through, and managed to tempt one out of the group. So
I just don't get it.
No.
Just
Well, because I managed to do it twice during the Big Lerf. People who were listening to that podcast. And yeah, Joe got one. Well done, mate.
so it's
Yeah.
a reliable sand eel spot now, confirmed.
That's it. Yeah.
Done.
It's
yeah,
done
it's so
it.
tiny though. I just can't. Obviously, I can't picture how to do it because I can't catch the damn things.
I
but-
think personally it's just pure luck. Sometimes you get lucky to go for it. They have got quite large mouths for a small fish. I think their mouth can expand.
Yeah.
And I think if they do flash it and then open their mouth, that's easily going to get caught in trouble.
Yeah,
And I think that's how you get it.
I feel it's just really easy to do.
I need to undo my work of putting singles on my metals and put a load of trebles back on.
That's it. You need to put like double trebles on there. You know. Fish love you more than they love us, though, Rich.
Fish love me.
Yeah.
Well,
For the fish care.
yeah, well that's
You're
it.
top of
yeah.
fish care.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
bottom.
thinking about the fish all the time.
Yeah, but
The amount of sand smelt I've been through, dropping
Yeah.
them, is ridiculous.
we're just dropping them on the floor.
Yeah, just drop them all the time, just constant.
That's why there weren't many about.
That's
Yeah.
it. Joe had accidentally
I've
given them all brain damage.
annihilated Cornish stock of sand smelt.
I think you had, because I didn't get one the entire weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would explain it. So I went from there. What did I go after that? Oh yeah. No, so I drove down to another mark which is normally really reliable, and according to everybody else as well, it was absolutely rubbish this weekend. Turned up, someone was setting opposite me. beautiful. Flat calm, gorgeous. Even some gulls were working, some bait fish. Thought this is perfect.
Good signs.
Yep, absolutely nothing except for a sangobie. I've sat there for 2 hours, pretty much wasting my time. And I was just like, I mean, it's a beautiful place to be. It's
Lovely place
to have a picnic or something, but or have a drink. But for fishing, it was rubbish. And I was just thinking about, I should have gone down to Falmouth with you guys. That's what I was thinking, but I was tired. I was really tired.
Yeah, that's it.
So you guys obviously were down there, yeah?
What did we
What
do?
did you do before that?
Yeah, so Meva, we picked up a couple of wrasse species each.
Yeah.
We were both trying for garfish for ages, weren't we? Not happening.
Yeah, just not happening.
Managed a mackerel on a Caro rig.
Yeah. Which you thought was
Which
a
I
gar.
thought was a gar.
Yeah.
All the way in. Got Joe to got the net ready.
And
It was a mackerel.
Just imagine that disappointment
Yeah.
as the mackerel appears.
Yeah.
I had that a few times this morning.
Yeah, that was. That was what garfish did to us all weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just broke our hearts. So
Really did.
we went to. Well, we had a quick go at Charlestown, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which was kind of a waste of time, really,
The
wasn't it?
wind had picked up by then, hadn't it? And
Yeah.
It was whipping through.
It was.
Got cold and
We spent quite a long time.
Was it dark?
It was. We sort of fished late afternoon into darkness.
Okay, yeah.
We were getting lots of funny little bites on the inside, but we spent ages trying to hook.
just couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. Strange. Don't know what it was. Because
That's why I thought it would be pain. Because I that the night before, I didn't mention that's where I went actually after Foy. But it was hardly much worth mentioning, to be honest, because I only got a pout. But there's quite a few pouts. We was casting right out as far as, so not in the actual inner harbour.
Were you on the outside wall then?
No, I was in the inside wall. That was really funny. So the guys went across. So in Charlestown at the moment, they've got this. Of anybody who hasn't been there, there is a lock on this. So on the inner harbour, that's essentially they've worked out that people want to fish there, so they've blocked it off completely. So you can't fish in there anymore.
Yeah.
And also they've blocked off. I think there's been some damage to the actual lock, so they can't actually walk across there anymore. Anyway, so Andy came across there, Matt, and also Matt and Danny were down there as well, and all of them got told off by this drunk guy for going crossing over. He was giving them hell. Yeah, and he was just like, he was going mad, but he was so drunk. He was so drunk.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're on that side, and we're catching right there. Matt had a gurnard there, which obviously I needed. I was quite envious of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it is. So yeah, Charlestown, then you went to Falmouth, you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
was
did.
it.
Yeah, went to Falmouth, mingled with the drunken students.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fantastic photo of that Joe took where it's just a wall of drunken people.
There was like two lots, wasn't there? Just
Yeah.
a horde of just shoulder to shoulder squeezing through,
Yeah,
trying not to get treble stuck in drunk people. I was saying I was just going to cut the line. I wasn't even going to bother telling anyone if I'd hooked them.
imagine
Gotta
that.
go.
Imagine they wake up with a hook in their back. What happened last night? It's
Chaotic scenes.
You
there.
take your life in your hands going through Falmouth. It can be really good though, and I think it proved to be very, very good for yourself, Joe.
Yes, so I've had a battle with top knots for a few years now.
Just explain what a top knot is for
So
people who don't know.
One of the flatfish species, very cool looking, different from the rest as well. Instead of being on your open sandy bottoms and things like that, they are wedged to the side of walls underneath rocks and stuff like that. So
Very quirky looking fish.
Yeah.
Bit of LRF royalty, really, aren't they?
Yeah, they look weird, they feel weird, just
Yeah.
everything about them is an odd fish.
Yeah.
It's going down the side of a wall. And it's only because the last time we were there for the big Lerf that you had said that it was almost like a scorp take, where it was just a thump and kind of held in place.
Yep.
That I was running up and down the side of the wall with a little 3 gram cheb and a little section of isomi, and it just got that distinctive one just thump as I went up, and then pulled it, and it obviously came away, and pulled it out the wall, and I legged it across the top of the arbor with it in my hands, and
I'm gutted I wasn't there to see that, but you were so excited.
literally ran all the way across, found Rich, showed him what I got, and then spent about 20 minutes, half an hour with it in a net, letting it recover, taking it out, taking some more photos, putting it back in the net.
Must get the best photos of it.
Get good photos. I wanted that one to go back good. I wanted it to be treated like the royalty it was.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you actually nearly threw it back without your...
Yeah, I was that excited. I got all
card.
my photos and completely forgot about the card until the last second. And which would have been unfortunate.
Yeah, that would have been. I can only imagine. But obviously, I think Rich, you had a missed opportunity with one.
I'd just before Joe caught his, actually, I'd lifted one out.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, it didn't bite like your normal top knot. It was like a rattle because it was only a tiny one.
Yeah.
And so I, reeled up thinking, here comes a goby.
Yeah.
And saw this little sort of leaf-shaped thing come up, and sort of in slow motion, it fell off the hook and very slowly drifted down.
I could just imagine like a leaf just falling really slowly.
If I hadn't been so tired and broken, I think I might have been able to net it out, if you know what I mean. It was that slow, but and then literally minutes later, Joe comes galloping across with his top knot. But it's great because I know how long Joe's been at.
Yeah, that was your first ever. That was a special fish.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, put a good few sessions into getting them. Lost lots of gear.
Yeah.
They
are. I say a lot of us obviously. I'm spoilt where I am because in Plymouth, Mountbatten's famous for them. But I mean, they're just one of those fish that anyone who LRFs for any sort of length of time really wants to catch.
Highly prized, aren't they?
Yeah, nobody ever really gets sick of catching them. Nobody goes, just a top knot. You'll never get that.
No,
with those.
Definitely not.
So that was really good. I was so happy when I saw that. I think I might have gone to bed at this point. I was just, cause I decided to sort of just fish until I got a bass in Foy. I was like, I need to get a bass. I actually was having a bit of a stinker. It was a bit of a theme of my sort of weekend, but I snagged up, and I had a poor cod, which was good. Then I snagged up, which was bad, and then I must have tied a really bad FG knot because I was just casting out and had a really good take, literally the savage take, but my drag went, but my knot just parted. Obviously, absolutely gutted. I was thinking, I was so annoyed with myself because I knew it was my fault, and so then I cast it again with the same thing. So I was using the tiny little I think 1/2 gram jig head with a section of gold python. For some reason, it just seemed to work, and and it was just I got another really savage take, both from bass. I think this one held on for a bit longer, but then my fluoro went. I couldn't believe it. Of all the things, So I don't know if my fluoro had taken a nick. It was a perfect the part that it would been. There was an imperfection in the fluoro.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I've got it. I've maybe put it on a barnacle or something. I just don't know.
It? Yeah.
But for that to happen in succession, I was feeling really naff.
So that light jig head with the really slow fall was what was doing it for you?
It was, really was. Because I was just really, at this point the tide was really low, so that ultra light presentation was what was getting the top bites. Yeah. I got loads of bites from it, and obviously had mostly pollock, but obviously had those decent fish as well.
Yeah, nice one.
And then, so I thought, I'm going to try and get my bass, and then I think that was going to take me on to 16 at that point. So I thought, then I'm going to go home, go to bed, and try to get up early. So I did that. So I've got my bass finally, after much sort of persuasion of many other things. It was a tiny little one, but I've honestly treated it like it was a 20-pounder. I was like, get the net. Yeah, because I had Lucas, who was joining us. He netted my fish for me, bless him. So we got that, and then I went home, drove to the loo, went straight to bed. And I set my alarm for 5 o'clock in the morning because I wanted to get up super early. Yeah, keen. Because I knew my best chance of getting a decent tally was to hit never in the morning, first thing. Just to try and get a gar, really, was what I was aiming for. But anyways, while I was doing that, while I was snoozing, you guys were doing what?
So we stayed on at Falmouth.
Yep.
What else So I flogged the hell out of those steps trying to recatch the top knot that I dropped, and terrified into not biting that night, but plugged away in the hope of a different one.
Were you flagging hard at this point?
Yeah, dropped several chebs and things on the floor. Joe helped me find. It was
Joe.
I think I have a standard point at that point in the weekend on these species hunts where I just sort of hit a bit of a wall.
Yeah.
And the top knot sort of knocked me over the edge a bit, and I just stayed in that spot for a bit longer than I should have probably.
Yeah.
But Joe was happy exploring around the steps and finding all sorts of stuff. So we went to the pier further down. I can't remember what it's called now.
I actually don't know what it's called. No.
But that was a bit more productive for us actually, wasn't it? We had whiting, pout.
Poor cod.
You got your poor cod.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pollock about. I think there was the odd bass, but they were sort of out in the darkness, and I never quite got sort of close enough to them. But yeah, we kept plugging away, didn't we?
Yeah, gobies by the millions, black gobies, rock gobies.
Well, yeah, I love that post. Joe uploaded to Facebook is just saying that Falmouth is just black gobies and cocaine. And that was because you actually...
Yeah, that's all I witnessed was just pulling up black goby after black goby. A couple of lads sat behind me. I was like, what are they up to? And then, yeah, they're...
On the old powder, bless them.
Yeah, they're having a good time. They're studying hard for uni, as you can tell. And then, yeah, as the night went on, saw it more and more. So it was all happening there.
I mean, it's a party town, really is. Yeah, but the fishing can be worth it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
if you can get through the crowds.
It's such a difference to the rest of the time fishing. You're spent in these idyllic, quiet, quaint locations, and then all of a sudden you're just dropped into this party scene, and there's vomit, and there's
crazy.
Yeah, it's all going on.
Yeah.
There's
chaos,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's pure chaos. Okay, so that was because what did you guys do after that?
We headed back then, didn't we? It was sort of getting on.
Okay, that's cool. So we were then. You were heading back then. So first thing. So I was up obviously first. I got up at 5ish. Stayed at my grand's, bless her. She got up and maybe lunch.
Legend.
Yeah, she's a good. Daphne, she's cool for anybody who's interested. She's great.
Well done, Daphne.
Yeah, no, she's great. And so I had my coffee and just essentially pegged it out. And I couldn't believe how dark it was at 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, 6:30. Didn't get light until 7:30. I forgot about that.
Winter's coming.
I know. Obviously, I clearly don't get up early enough. Yeah, because obviously I got to Mother and it was still dark. It was just about to get light. And casting out, and it was actually felt really positive for a bit. So it was my first cast got me a coalfish, which was
that first cast, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, I let it sink right down, and I felt like it almost nicked a bit of weed. But then as soon as I got up, I got this sort of pulsating fight, and it was a sort of. I mean, there's only not very long. They're very quite small fish, but similar size to what I've caught before there. But obviously, honestly, I was so happy about that.
Yeah, I bet.
Coalfish is not, as I've said before, not a usual catch for me.
No, not one you could.
Until this year, I've had 3 now.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that. Yeah, and then I had some really good mackerel. This chap turned up. He just wanted some mackerel for some bait for mullet, and he ended up netting one of my fish for me because it was a big thing. And he also had a massive mackerel. We had about half an hour spell where the sun was just coming up, and the mackerel were really on the feed. Lovely. It was proper like rod bending,
nice,
stuff. I was using the 7-gram rod as well, and it was just blasting the metals out and just getting it.
Just having a good scrap.
It was so good. Yeah, it's just a shame that no garfish turned up. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Danny and Matt turned up, and Danny was after corkwing and ballon, and he got both of them in quick succession.
Excellent.
He did really well first thing.
Excellent.
Yeah, Matt didn't get a gar, but they were gone. I mean, I love those guys. They're always on a mission.
No messing.
Yeah, exactly. So they were gone. I stayed there for a bit longer. I got my corkwing, got a few out, some really big ones actually as well. Josh turned up, Josh Fletcher, and he had a leopard spot first cast.
Brilliant.
Yeah, first chuck down. Fair play to him. Yeah, that's cool. And that's obviously, this is the point where it's coming to the end now. So I had to sort of work out what I was going to do. I had to get a balance. I was like, I can't leave it without getting a balance. So I ended up going to Gorin Haven, of all places, and climbing over the walls and stuff, and just went into this gully, and I cast out, and I didn't even get a chance for the fish to bite. I reeled in, and I was already in a snag. Straight from the wrasser just picked it up and got straight into the snag, and I had to wait. I was there for about 5 minutes waiting for this fish to come out, and I got him.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, so that was pretty pleasing, but I couldn't get anything else there. So what were you guys doing? You actually went to the North Coast after the rock pools, didn't you?
Yeah, we just basically spent the morning down there.
Yeah.
Bumped into Will and Joe. We got our Montagues. I know that they've been quite troublesome this weekend.
Well, for me, yeah.
They were very spooky actually, weren't they? Even the shannies were spooky. They'd sort of come and have a look and then dive back down.
Strange.
And we did find changing from the Tanago hooks to just a standard split shot with like a 22 on.
Yeah.
Made a bit of a difference. So
strange. Yeah.
I don't know if it was the Cheb being close to the lure,
maybe.
Or that little braided line was a bit too much, maybe. But we got there in the end, didn't we?
Yeah, we did get there. Yeah, it was. Took me a long while to get one of those. Rich caught one, and he'd then gone off to kind of explore a bit more what it was about. And
yeah, there's a lot to explore there actually.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of going back and forward and
You
trying
could
the different
spend a
pools.
day there easily if the tide would allow.
Yeah,
you'd be able to,
definitely.
Yeah, well, that whole coastline across the whole north coast, there's so many deep rock pools,
Yeah,
and they all hold interesting stuff.
yeah.
I'm
That mark's
saying
quite
about that.
interesting where the tide actually, when it comes in, and there's some nice sandy gullies, and sort of imagine there could be quite a few sort of.
Well, obviously I've had dragonettes there as well. I guarantee you'd find a little turbot and things like that. If you put enough time in there, you would.
Definitely.
Yeah, it'd be worth an all-day fish, wouldn't it?
It would,
You'd have good fun on that spot.
Yeah, one day we'll do it. It's not enough time in the days, a week, a year, whatever. Lovely. Okay, so I was coming to the end. So then you came back to Weybridge for the.
For
the count.
So did I. Okay. All right. So that's the end of part 1, and we'll talk about the event as a whole in part 2. The Big Lerf Podcast, talking LRF and more. Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Big Lerf Podcast, the Cornish Lure Festival special. So we've just been obviously talking about our weekend, but obviously there were other anglers as well. So there were 12 anglers altogether. It's been bigger in the past, but it's also been smaller. So this was a bit of it was a bit more hastily organised. I think with COVID and everything, it's all been a bit up in the air. But for the guys who did attend, we had, so in no real order, but we've got Joe Bartlett, Lucas Fiocharadis, is that how you pronounce his name? I'm reading it. Sorry, Lucas, if I've just butchered your name there, mate. Danny Hill, we obviously had Rich, me, Joe, we had Matt Drake, Matt Barnsley, John Owens, that's Johnny Lerfer, Josh Fletcher, Will Pender, of course, and andymytton. So there's some really good anglers involved, and that's why I think the pressure was on the whole weekend for all of us.
Yeah, strong field.
Really strong. Yeah, really strong.
Yeah, who said it? Someone said it was like the Premier League.
It's generous. But yeah, I guess with LRF, a lot of us have been doing it for a long time, so it's kind of like there's a lot of experience there. But it was really good, and so we got back, and obviously we were able to sort of keep track. I think a lot of us thought that others were doing probably absolutely smashing out species. I was expecting to come back and everyone would be on 25 species.
Yeah, I think this does play games with your mind, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of the way it goes, and you hear of someone picking up a couple of species that you haven't had, and you immediately think that's them 2 up, but you forget that they've probably missed 1 or 2 that you might have had. So.
Exactly that, yeah. And so I'm just going to go through the results with us here. So we've got. So Johnny got 14, Joe Bartlett got 15, Lucas also got 15, and Matt Drake got 15. So Matt Drake, I think, started late as well. So yeah, well done him. And also I think Lucas that was his first time fishing in one of these. So 15 is really good, mate. Well done to you. Danny and Matt, they got 16 each. And then who else am I looking at here? So Josh got 17, and I think I was next on 19. So that was my total for the weekend. I was aiming for 20, but I think 19, considering I started late.
That's a great result, mate.
Yeah, I kind of was a bit hard on myself, obviously, because I really wanted to get 20. And I missed out on some easy ones. I didn't get a sand smelt, didn't get a gar. I say they're easy, but obviously, those 2.
Only easy if they're there.
Yeah, and there's other ones as well. Obviously, a Montague's would have been good. And anyway, I'll digress. So then we've got, so that was, so Rich, you had 20?
Yeah.
So you were 4th?
Yeah.
So in the points scheme, that gave you 716. So what did I get? 671. So that all says how well you did. And then, so in 3rd place, andymytton. And he got 21. And also our very own Joe got 21 as well. But you beat him because you got 751 points to his 688. So, I mean, well done, Andy. Obviously, Andy, I think, was just aiming to get 20, and obviously he got 21. So, yeah, and he pulled out probably the most special catch, rarity-wise, of the weekend.
Yeah.
With the red mullet. He had a couple of, he dropped 2 and caught 1.
We'd all love one, wouldn't we?
All of us, everyone, yeah. So fair play to him for that. But it wasn't enough to pip Joe, so Joe got 2nd. And obviously then, the inevitable. Yeah. I mean, what do we say about this man?
Unstoppable machine.
Will Pender. He just smashed it out of the park, 25. He was on 21 yesterday, and then decided to have a go down to the rock pools today, and popped out 4 species, didn't he?
Yeah, what was that, in less than an hour? It must have been less than an hour. Or,
We've got montagues, rockling, top knot,
And a clingfish.
and a clingfish.
Yeah, just like that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All
amazing.
really cool catches.
Yeah, all really cool. And so that gave them an absolutely monumental point score of 1,082, which I think is a record. I'm not sure
It's
if
got to
they've
be, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, 25 is a
is-
record,
yeah.
for sure. But that shows, obviously, that everyone was pushing everyone, I think. And
Yeah.
it's, yeah, I mean, well, 15 in the past has won it. So to get 25, 10 more is crazy.
Yeah.
So fair play to Will. I mean, I don't need to say anything else about him, really, because he's just, yeah, an absolute machine.
We've said it all before, haven't we? I think.
We have, yeah. But fair play to him. So that was really good. Just to sort of say a huge thank you to Ben, our fishing, for putting this on. Every year he's got big plans for a real change next year.
Sounds quite exciting, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And we've got, obviously, that coupled up with the big Lerf events next year should mean, we've got a lot of people getting involved with a lot of
should be a fun
things.
year, shouldn't it?
A big year for the Lerf, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's going to continue to grow, and hopefully the next Cornish Lure Festival is going to be a really exciting one with, and definitely have a few more than 12 people, I think, get involved. So that'd be really good. And yeah, just wanted to sort of say thank you to everyone. Thank you to Ben for letting us use his shop for us to do this podcast as well.
Yeah,
and sorry if it's been a bit weird and slow, but we are so tired. But we just thought we'd have to do it now because, I mean, I'm literally on my honeymoon next week. So
yeah, congratulations, by the way.
oh yeah, I got married
Congratulations
last
to Ben.
weekend. Yeah, I mean that's part of the reason I was starting late is because I couldn't get any time off after getting married. So yeah, it was still marriage is much more important than a
Let's get that in there.
yeah. Just in case Abby's listening. Yeah, it was too important than doing the festival, but it was I was really pleased with it all, and yeah, so just happy, and yeah, so we'll just want to say thank you, and we'll finish part 2 there. Cheers. The Big Lerf Podcast, talking LRF and more. So, part 3 of the Big Lerf Podcast. Just thought we'd wrap this up by saying what we're going to be doing for the next month or so before we record the next one, really. Rich, any plans for sort of October, November sort of time?
Well, coming into autumn, usually when I start thinking about wrasse,
Yep.
really, they start, generally pretty productive lure fishing for wrasse this time of year.
Yeah, that's probably people would
It's a good
normally
time to
think
get
that
bigger.
as well. That's quite interesting that you would go for that angle. I agree. But
Yeah,
obviously-
yeah. I guess people see them as a summer species, really,
Yeah.
don't they? But I think they probably become more aggressive, more active,
And so a bit bigger as well.
bigger. I think
Yeah.
this is the time to pick up the bigger fish, isn't it?
Yeah,
And I think also there's mackerel showing up now, isn't there? Hopefully those garfish will turn up.
yeah. It'd be nice to pick up a few of those, because it just hasn't really turned on for us this year, is it?
No,
No, not at all.
but I think you can get some good fishing this time of year.
Yeah,
Weather
absolutely.
permitting. So
Yeah,
just make the most of any opportunities come up.
that's it. If it's just in between the rain and storms, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. And Joe?
Yeah, similar sort of thing, really. Try and get on the wrasse a bit. Also, the whiting will start to come in and stuff
Yeah.
like that as well, which
Yeah,
slightly
that'd be good.
bigger ones do put up a good scrap as well. And,
Yeah, we got some good ones in Plymouth.
yeah, keep it interesting when it is dark and
Night
if
sessions,
things slow
yeah.
down. Yeah, so yeah, it just gives another element of fishing to do now, and hopefully try and get up to Plymouth at some point and try some head torching for the flounder. And
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm going to be probably spending a lot of my time doing in the next sort of month or so, going into probably until January, really. Just trying to catch as many decent flounder as I can while they're still there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is proper sight fishing for flounder season for me. I've already had a couple out now, including obviously the one that I've had this weekend.
It's made a good start, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I've already betted. That one I caught, was it Friday night? Or early, I was a Saturday morning. That's beating my biggest last year. So,
Nice one.
yeah, hopefully
Great
I can.
start.
Yeah, I like to beat my PB. I think my PB is it was definitely a £3 fish. So if I can get around that sort of size, I'll be really pleased. I'm just going to carry on with that, and hopefully we'll do. I've already done videos about it, done blogs and stuff, but we'll probably talk about it. Hopefully once we've done it, we can talk about a session of sight fishing.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
And we'll go through that in the next sort of pods. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I think that's the sort of plans to go ahead as we go into sort of. I mean, for us, I think we've always talked about it. Going up to Christmas is just a great run of time for catching fish.
yeah, very
Potentially
good
the
fishing.
best spell, really.
Yeah.
Again, depending on the weather, but if you get some nice settled weather, then fishing can be brilliant, can't it?
Yeah,
There's not many species you won't catch.
No. It's really good. We've had some of our best fishing, as we said before. So for anybody who's obviously thinking about it, just get out there, just and try and make the most of it. I mean, I think that's the same for across the country. I think whether you're north and south, they're all, this time of year can be really good if it's not tipping down rain or massive waves. So we'll see. But yeah, I think we'll wrap this up because obviously we're all tired and want to go to bed. I think, and we're knackered. But just thanks for putting up with us on this one. We'll come back next time with a little bit more energy, I think. But I just thought we'd try and get into the sort of swing of things with this and show you what this does to your body, this type of fishing. But it is, I promise you, it is really good fun, even if we haven't sounded like it, to be honest. But
it's fun but tiring.
So tiring, yeah. But anyway, thank you guys, and we'll catch up with you soon. Cheers.
Cool, thank you.
The Big Lerf Podcast, talking LRF and more.